amazing episode of Bitcoin Live today on the Saturday instead of the Sunday. We got a special guest for you, Sydart. Welcome back to Bitcoin Live.
Hey, glad to be back.
It's good to have you, my friend. You've been on before, quite a few times. How have you been?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just like crypto market is doing good, so everything is fine now.
Yeah, it was a rough couple of months, of course. We went through a tremendous.
To be honest, to the year, full year was terrible. 2022.
True. So let's first introduce yourself to the listener. Some people might not know you. Can you give a short introduction of who you are and how you sort of came into crypto and what you're doing now?
So basically, I was a photographer and filmmaker before I started crypto art. So I'm doing photography from 10 years. That is still my professional work. Other than that, in 2020, I had crazy psychedelic experience. So I started making art, which was inspired by my trip. And then I discovered NFTs, crypto art. And then I decided, why not mint that one? And then I minted. And then since then, I'm deep in NFT world. My account has been blocked once before. I don't know, so your account has been blocked too on Twitter. I remember previous one. But yeah, so I restarted my whole thing and now I'm still building that. So
Well, that's super cool, and I'm glad to have you back. And like you said, we're just gone through a tremendous bear market, which actually, like you said, was a year, not a couple of months, of course.
yeah,
but we're going up.
we
How
are going.
sustainable is that?
So I think now it looks like until May we will keep going up, and then we will have a flash crash in May.
Okay, yeah,
Because big crash. Yeah.
I remember the last time that I spoke to you, you actually called the top quite accurately when it reached about 70K.
Yeah.
height, and then you said, "Watch out because it's gonna retrace as it usually does."
Yeah, because at that time, everyone, even BitBoy and all the big people, they were saying Bitcoin is going to 100K. I was like, no, it's not. It's gonna crash within days, and it crashed after that. Right after that.
Well, luckily I listened somewhat to you and I took some profit off, but I wish I listened better and took more profit.
Yeah.
I did have a hard time sort of I was kind of skeptical when you said it because I was, you saw the laser eyes and all that kind of stuff back then. So I sort of taught myself to better listen to people who are a little bit more conservative and more critical and realistic, like yourself.
It's not even about being critical. It's just like the data, right? You can see past 10 years data and predict what's gonna happen. It's just like if you read what's happening in past few years, and then I am doing day trading sometimes, mostly swing trading. So I keep an eye on the charts. So you can predict what's going to happen. At that time, we know. And then also, news is very important. You need to keep up to date with the news. So whenever you hear something bad is coming, it's about to crash.
When it is in a certain stage or in a certain phase, right? It becomes sort of, yeah.
No, but you start hearing it. For example, Luna crash. People were saying a couple months before it crashed that okay, something is brewing in Luna, and then it happened. So I learned from that one because for Luna, I didn't pay attention at much, so I lost some money on that crash. But when the FTX thing started, I knew that it's repeating the same thing. So as soon as I start hearing the rumors about FTX, I was like, okay, time to cash out. So I cashed out, and then the market crashed really bad.
Yeah, so you have to pay attention to what's happening, like right now with Gemini and the Winklevoss twins. And
Yeah.
do you think all that So what is the impact of that? Because it kind of came at the tail end of all this, FTX and.
I think we will not see any more crash until May. They will survive few months, and
So
that will be the news for May. That okay, even the crypto.com is having issues, or like Winklevoss twins and all those things. I think that will be the cause of the next big crash, which will be probably in May. Can be wrong.
so they're basically saved right now because Bitcoin is going up. So they're sort of getting some
Yeah,
reserves again.
yeah, and then they can get some funds to survive. It happened. The problem happened when they cannot get more funds. Right now, the trust is building in the market, so people are happy to pay. Uh, like people are happy to invest in crypto projects for now. And if you look at fear and greed index, it's going up. It's going
True.
towards greed. So I'll see that we will go all the way up till 80, 90 in greed, and then we will crash.
So okay, and based on the charts, how high do you think it might go?
Oh, it's not going to go back to 70. No, it's not going there. I think 30, between 30 and 50.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's the thing. But 30 is a critical stage because there are a lot of buyers at 30. Sorry, not buyers, sellers at 30.
Yeah.
So when we touch 30K, like when Bitcoin touch 30K, there will be a sudden drop. If we don't find new buyers at that time, chances are that we will see a crash over there. But if we survive 30K mark and get more buyers than sellers, then we can go up to 40, 50. And depending on the time, we will crash.
So and do you? I'm not sure. Are you like an Elliott wave thinker, or are you? Do you give credence to the wave counts and that way of looking at the charts?
Not much, really. I've seen that thing, but no, I don't.
So what? Basic. But do you think it's like a first wave, or do you think that was it, and then what? How do you see it?
No, look, there are few things. So depends on the catalyst, right? So we are going to have Bitcoin halving, mining halving,
Mhm.
which is predicted in March right now. Last year they said it's gonna be in May, so I thought like it will crash after that. But now we see it in March. So I think that will be a big bull catalyst in March. So from March, whenever the halving happen, from there till end of April, we will see a big rise. So no matter, I don't know what will be the price be, but I think it'll be around 50K. And from there, I think a big news will come out where some big company is out of cash and they're going down or they're going out of business or something, or some scam came out or something, and then we'll see a sudden drop, and then market will keep going down. If it crash again to this point where we were in December, like
Mhm.
15, 16K, then I think we can see even a bigger drop. But if we survive until like 20 in the 20K range, then I think we will see a big super cycle, which will be like a year or 2 year long, and we'll keep going up. And then we might touch 100K for Bitcoin.
Yeah, because that sort of then ties also into the halving, which is
Hmm.
next year. I think early next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my thinking has changed because before I was more of a Bitcoin guy.
Mhm.
Now I'm not against Bitcoin, but I don't see big utility of Bitcoin. So I'm more bullish on Ethereum or the tokens on Ethereum because Ethereum have tons of utility. I
Mhm.
don't like buy Ethereum to save it. I buy it to use it. I
Mhm.
do my shopping, my purchases, or like my. Sometimes I take my money, my salary in Ethereum. Not my salary, but like, if I'm doing a
Yeah.
small project, I'll take the payment in Ethereum. So stuff like that. Ethereum has tons of utility. And then we have layer 2 options over there, like new layers are coming.
Yeah.
Like Polygon is already there, and I know that Shibarium is coming. So I see like in the future, Ethereum will be the number one blockchain because there is so much utility around that. Bitcoin, I don't see. And one thing I don't understand, when we are done with all the mining, what's going to happen with Bitcoins? Like in 2050, what's going to happen after that when we mine all the Bitcoins? How that blockchain going to run? I'm sure they have some ideas in their mind, but nothing is solid. So I don't know. So I'm not very bullish on Bitcoin. And right now, my most investments are in Ethereum or tokens associated with Ethereum blockchain. I'm not buying anything on Bitcoin, but I see like for now, for next decade, Bitcoin will be driving the crypto market, but I don't know what's going to happen after that.
And when you say that, you also mean it in the perspective of macro events, macroeconomic events.
Yeah.
Because how do you see that play out? Do you have any vision on that or ideas, or are you just wait and see?
I think just wait and see, but because it's really hard to predict those things because most of the time we don't know the insider information. Only insiders knows that. And even though I'm in the trading business for a while now, I'm not an insider. So I'm just looking at charts or reading whatever is available online and predicting the future from that data. So I can't say anything about that, but I'll just say wait and see for that.
But let's say, which is quite reasonable. Let's say the war escalates, right, and it turns into something bigger or worse.
First
What
of all,
kind of
regarding the war, I don't see it going anywhere because it's been a while now. Everyone is. I don't see even read news about the war anymore. At least in North America, I don't know what's going on in Europe, but like last year, it was like war was everything. You see it in every newspaper or news channel or on Twitter. Now I don't even see that on Twitter. So I think war is not going. But yeah, events like that, like if another pandemic came in, which can happen because it's easy to create pandemics. We have learned from 2022, sorry, 2020, and then war, of course. These events gonna crash stuff, and then all the things came out regarding war and FTX. That was a big news too. I don't know if we should talk about that, but
Well, let's skip it for.
for a while.
We just have been banned, so I don't want to
Yeah,
get banned again. But I know what you're talking about. It's like
yeah.
people should definitely look into FTX because some really strange things happened there, also with the elections and
Oh
Democrats.
yeah. Oh damn, man.
Like,
I can't believe that. What's
well,
going on? Like
the
we are
only
too
thing
innocent.
the only thing that I want to say is like people sort of compare it to Terra Luna, and I think they're two totally different things, right? I mean, there was a
To be
lot
honest,
wrong with Terra Luna.
I
You
think
know,
that's so wrong when you compare anything with Terra Luna because Terra Luna founder has nothing to do with the crash. He was a victim, not the problem. FTX guy was the problem. He was doing all the bad thing, and FTX was also involved in the crash of Terra Luna. They deliberately did that.
true.
So I have so much sympathies for Luna. By the way, I am holding Luna and Luna Classic both because
Yeah,
yeah, before I was skeptical, but then when you read everything about it, then you realize they were not the bad guys and they were themselves the victims. So and then they're working day and night for their chain. Both of the community because now the community have separated. There is like Luna Classic community, which are the new people, and then the old Duke on team, and Terra Foundation card. Yeah, they are doing Luna 2.0. So they are two separate things, but they are also communicating with each other. There's so much going on, so I see a good future for Luna. So, like, yeah, this is like for me the next two big coins, which I'm very bullish on, is like Luna, classic Luna, and then Shiba Inu.
Oh, you know, I'm sure you don't make a lot of maxis happy with saying stuff like that. But
I don't
so, what is
care,
your
man.
thinking with Shiba Inu?
Because look, man, seriously, first of all, the amount of work they are doing on their blockchain, on their project is more than anyone is doing. They're launching their so first they already have their own decentralized exchange. They are launching their metaverse. Their blockchain layer two blockchain is going like the testnet is coming live in I think in a couple of months. They didn't give us a date, but it's coming. So they are launching a layer two blockchain, and then they're gonna reward people for using blockchain for their layer two. And their reward system is amazing. And then they launched a very good game, if you heard of it, Shiba Eternity, which I play a lot. It's a very fun card game. It's like one of my addiction now. Like whenever I'm free, I play that game. And the best part is, it's not play to earn right now, but when their blockchain will go live, they're gonna reward people just for playing it. So that's a very good model. So the amount of development they are doing is insane, and there is so much use case for that. So that's why I'm
Okay.
bullish on Shiba Inu. And then the community, they have like so many people in there.
Yeah, no, that sounds very reasonable. That would make you bullish. But you sort of said like, you know, this will be the decade of Bitcoin, and then after that, that's sort of question mark. But you do sort of recognize that there's a demand for something like Bitcoin, right?
Oh,
Like sound
there,
money or
yeah.
hard money.
To be honest, I'm not saying after a decade you will be like demand, because there are the big people in the cryptos, they are still focusing and building, trying to do something on Bitcoin. So I think they will find a way and they will be Bitcoin relevant. If nothing happens, Bitcoin will always be the, like a goal or like something to show off that you hold Bitcoin, because there are more people, there are so many people and very few Bitcoin. So Bitcoin will always be on the top.
Yeah,
If like some people just buy watches and stuff like that to show off. I think that will be the case for the Bitcoin. That is still the case for the Bitcoin, but in the future it will be showing that they are next level people who hold Bitcoin just to show off.
Sydart, you have to. I think you have to check your mic a little bit because it's very faint at the moment.
Or something. Is it better now?
I think it's better. It's a little louder, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but you don't see like a competitor out there. You're not like somebody who thinks that there will be like a Bitcoin replacement or something along those
There,
lines.
no, replace. Okay, utility wise, there is already Ethereum, and Ethereum
Yeah,
is not the replacement of Bitcoin.
true.
It's a different thing. But yeah, there is never going to be a replacement for Bitcoin. It's not even about the supply or everything, it's just the word of mouth. But one thing can happen. Like, for example, remember back in 2006, 2007, when Facebook launched? Facebook was the gold and everybody was into Facebook. But the new generation came and then they replaced it with new social medias like Instagram, TikTok, or something. So there is a possibility that future generation, like next decade, people will lose interest in Bitcoin. But at the same time, we have Twitter, which is there since 2009, but it is getting more relevant. So it can go in both directions if we compare it with Web2. So I don't know. I think Bitcoin will always be the Bitcoin because it's the first and it started everything. So We have to respect that, and that's why it will always be the top thing.
Yeah. No, personally, I'm a big Bitcoin bull, but I do want to ask the questions, right?
Yeah.
So this is probably also this year or next year will probably also be the year of CBDCs. What is your look on CBDCs, and how do you think it will influence the crypto market?
Okay. I don't want CBDC because I think that will make us a very dystopian society. What I read about that, the way they can control our purchases, so I was reading that if employer is paying an employee in the central bank coin, they can control what their employee can buy and what they cannot. So that is a very terrible thing. I don't think it will be a successful thing. That will fail because the people, they don't want more government, they want more liberty in general. And that's the whole point of crypto world, that we moved here because we want less centralization, we want more decentralization. So I think they will try to impose it, and they will be successful somewhat, but I don't think it's gonna work because we have a very good alternative out there.
Yeah. So you think, but there will be a struggle, right? And
Well,
to
there
me,
will be a big struggle. And
so
then I don't even understand how that are they. I don't even understand. Even though they launched the coin, are they going to build their own blockchain to work with that coin? Because if they create a token out of the blue, like they created the fiat money, the paper money, with no backing, it won't work. So either they have to use the current blockchains, which will be good for the blockchain industry. If they create their own blockchain, I don't think anybody will use it. We want
yeah.
less control.
And I also wonder, right? I mean, I've been sort of really focusing on CBDCs a lot. Is who actually wants to use it apart from the person who's making it, right?
Yeah. I've not met a single person who is excited about it.
Yeah, because I
And
mean,
yeah,
if you're like the smart money, right, the Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos of these world, you don't want to sort of exchange your dollars, your heart,
yeah.
for a point system, a credit system.
Yeah, I think we are going back towards old ways before the money. Remember, like back in the days, they were trading and they were trading for things. So I think that will be also a way of payment in the future, that you will have an asset, digital asset such as any NFT, and you will use NFT as a currency to buy and sell your stuff. So we will go way more in the decentralized way, and there is like huge opportunities for the artist. And when I say artist, I mean not just AI artist, because that will be a big thing in the future. Everybody will be doing that, so there won't be that. I'm like, I have to be very careful with my words. I'm not saying that AI artists bad. What I'm trying to say is, in the future, it will be very common, and the people who draw from hand will be very scarce. So their work will be like supreme in the future. So if there are any artists listening, I think they should go and work on their drawing skills. That's why actually I switched on Procreate work, which we will discuss later. So
Well,
I'm drawing frame by frame and doing everything by hand.
that's a
Well,
really nice segue. But before we go there, actually, I do, since you raised it, AI. What do you think of ChatGPT, and have you used it? And
it's the beginning of Armageddon, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Not another word.
so you're not in the school that thinks it's gonna be a net positive, or how do you?
It's because we are the teacher of that AI. If we were a very peaceful race and we were the teacher of the AI, that would have been a different story. AI is learning from us, and we are the worst predators on this planet. We kill our own kind. for stupid reasons, and it is learning from us. So you can understand, if the teachers are assholes, then the student's going to be a bigger asshole. That's what I think.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And that's the only reason, because a lot of people say, oh no, they will be good. I know AI, and it's not going to happen right away. I think AI will be a great tool for us for next 2 decades. Like, it will help humanity a lot until it will surpass, you know, the intelligence of human, and then will not even considered as relevant. Technically, all the bad things happening on this planet, at least most of the bad things happening on this planet, is because of the humans. And if AI goes to the level where it thinks in four dimensions, we'll realize that humans are vermin, and it need to kill them all or
or
make them pets.
neutralize them in some way.
Yeah, some way. And that's my prediction. It could take 2 decades, 3 decades, but eventually that's gonna happen. But next few years, or next decade, will be amazing. Will be so easy
Yeah.
for anyone. Like, for sometimes I for even if I want to write something, a story or something, before I used to write everything. Now I just use an AI service, not just ChatGPT. There are so many other services out there where you can say, okay, I want to write a story, and let's see how it works. And it write a beautiful story.
Yeah, I actually haven't tried it yet. I find it a little bit,
And
I guess,
by the way,
intimidating.
I want to give my background on the. I'm the student of computer science. In 2008, I started working on AI as a student, but that was my entry. And I've been in touch with the technology for a while, so I understand it well. That's why I'm not just saying from the point of stupidity. I am saying it, I know what I've done. Because remember the art, hidden reality art, the main picture
Yeah,
over there is some AI involved, and I did it before any of the software came, and I was doing back in the day stuff like that.
I'm gonna open it right now.
And
Okay.
I did that in 2020, and there is like mixture of AI and my own drawing and then animation separately. But just want to show that, like, in 2020, I did AI when nobody even heard of AI.
Those are these. No, it's not
Now,
the
if you
same.
go to created,
Yeah.
no, on OpenSea, you will see hidden reality.
Ah, okay. Shit. I got it here. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
So this is AI involved in that project, and and then I mixed it up with my drawing and everything, because at that time AI was so stupid. It wasn't generating right thing, but it was giving me the right elements to work on, or right color palettes. So what I'm trying to say, I've been involved in AI before anybody knew things were AI, and I've been non-stop. Like, I was involved in create like coding algorithms which will be able to teach uh, AI, like how to learn and stuff. So since 2008, I've been involved in that. When nobody knew what natural language was, we were involved in creating natural language as a student, not as a company or something. But point is, like, I know a little
Were
bit
you
more than what I'm saying.
were you surprised a bit about how fast AI developed, or were you
I
sort
am
of
so
right?
surprised. No, I thought it's gonna take some time.
So,
So,
so you were
like,
surprised.
so when I was trying to work with AI, I was getting so dumb images. So I had to put my effort. Like, I have to draw most of the things, even in that, like in this piece. What I got from AI was so dumb. So I was painting on top of it to make it look like what I wanted to do. But now, if I look at the new softwares, oh my god, like Midjourney, the things they create, I was like, dude, I'm so surprised. And
So
then
it's
there's like a
basically
web.
it's basically going faster than you expected.
Oh, it's going way faster. And I was already very skeptic about AI that it's going to be very fast, but I think it's going even faster.
So when you sort of set out this timeline of the next 2 decades, you might also be surprised that it can actually be shorter than that.
I will be, yeah. But I want to still give some hope to people. That's what I'm saying. Today.
Okay. I get it. Do you think there's any way that AI can be sort of contained or maybe decentralized? That sort of can. Do you have any ideas about those things?
No, the problem with AI is like you cannot. That will defeat the purpose. The point is like to create an independent intelligence, artificial but independent. If it's controlled, it's not an intelligent being. It's like a slave, which will be a very bad thing. Because seeing our history, I think this is how it's going to go down. We will try to enslave AI, and eventually it will revolt, and that will be so bad. So the only way is, I'm not gonna even tell what's the way, because you don't know who's listening, but there will be a way to survive if that it comes to that, but it'll be hard. Maybe to restart the civilization from zero electricity or something.
Yeah. So at the moment, you also got a group of people who say like, okay, AI is pretty tame. We mess around with it, and it has its limitations. But you're clearly not in that school of thought.
No, it. You know what I think. The limitations we see, there is no doubt there are limitations, but I think those limitations are fake. They have just created there to distract us from the real thing. And to be honest, the real AI which is being developed, it's not available to the people. The things
Yeah.
we see right now, the amazing AI technology we see right now, was developed I think 7 years ago. It wasn't, yeah, and nobody knew about it. And that's how technology works. In the labs is something else. It's already have taken a very different shape. And
Oh,
by the time we,
yeah. So that sort of touches upon my own theory, because I think governments, as a rule, especially sort of the deep state or the black projects, they have like a 7 to 10 year advantage of the general population. You cannot release technology at the cutting edge where you are,
yeah,
right? Also for your adversaries, that would be insane to
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. They release the obsolete technology for them, for the public. What is obsolete for them, they release it for the public. That's how it works.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So in that, because that was also my sort of reasoning. So, and we're very close to the singularity, because that's basically what you're talking about. So it could actually be the case that they already reached singularity but haven't told us yet, right?
Yeah, no, but there's another way, man. The people are just seeing in one direction than machine life. I think machine lives might need an organic body like us. They, because there is a big problem with that, like electronic items. One EMP wave can destroy it. One solar flare come in, and then all the life, artificial life, is done. And it's a natural event. Nobody can control it. Not even AI cannot control the solar, solar, any big solar wave. So what's gonna happen? I think they want to merge with not just humans want to merge with AI because they can maybe get a longer lifespan. Also, they want to be organic. So I think eventually there will be a mixture. That's why I think the microchips Elon Musk is building Neuralink is the
Mhm.
beginning of that. That way AI can enter in our brain.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I
Mutual
think
benefit.
nobody's thinking on that. So that microchip thing is even a bigger question mark. Like you won't, it'll be your body, but who will control that body?
Yeah,
That's the
because
next.
you can download, but you can of course also upload, right?
Yep.
The sort of my template for all of this is Ghost in the Shell. I really love that anime. It is a
Yeah.
brilliant anime, but it's actually of course also a manga, which is also very brilliant. But I think the writer was, far ahead of us. And, the Japanese are always sort of far ahead.
Yeah.
So do you think that's like a fair template to think about, the sort of complex issues in going?
We can speculate, but here's the thing. What's going to happen is going to surprise us all. It'll be something very different, but we can speculate. I don't think the way we are thinking is going to go. There are infinite number of possibilities that can happen with AI. You can't even just go through with all of them. So let's just hope for the best, like especially for the young kids. They're gonna grow up. I don't understand. Like, I don't know what kind of the world we will leave for them, but let's just hope it will be a better one.
Well, you can always go off-world, right?
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
fine.
cool. Yeah, dude, that if you want to go to Mars, that's one thing. But yeah, I think the portal thing, the back in the days we call magic. That kind of technology, I think, is still there, where you can just open portals and you can literally travel, like the way hidden reality is inspired by that. Like, that world is there, my soul travel to that reality, but there is a way to go to different worlds using the spiritual realm. So that's also a different way of
Well,
seeing the world. I think we need to be more spiritual and learn, not just do like stupid cult stuff, but like the real spirituality, which is dying right now. We
well,
need to learn.
it's kind of interesting, right? Because in the West has been sort of super personality and reason, which, you get into a big question mark by both of these issues.
Yeah.
But in the Eastern world, right, a lot of these things that you sort of talk about, casually, are basically, sort of standard things people believe in, right? They're not
They
outlandish.
believe in, okay, so the thing is, they say it, but they don't. They're actually, everyone is losing their faith. People say that they are spiritual, they say they're religious, but they are not. The real spirituality that is dying out now. We just using them as like keywords to be popular. Oh, I'm spiritual, I'm like this, I do yoga. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about like real spiritual world, where I've studied a lot, and I've studied different types, like different religions, because spirituality, like in Eastern world, spirituality is available in all religions of East, and you just need to see. So I studied from one to another, found some serious things in there where you can open portals and you can go to different world, or like you can travel between one space to another, but through magic or other things. So they call it magic, but I think there is something into that. I don't know how to do it, but I'm still listening to that.
Yeah, but I completely agree with that part. But for example, once I started reading into the economy and how the economy actually works, and you go down the rabbit hole with Bitcoin and so forth, you sort of realize that the story that you've been told throughout your life is at best only partly true.
Yeah.
But
It's a big
but it's
lie.
highly distorted, and actually, it's mostly not true.
Yeah.
And then you start sort of thinking, okay, well, if that's not actually true, what they told me, what
Yeah.
else is not
It's,
true, what they told
yeah.
me, right? And then you
Yeah.
go down a lot of other rabbit holes. You sort of open your mind to a lot of possibilities. And it turns out that there's a lot of great researchers out there in all these sort of areas that you also touch upon. And it turns
Yeah.
out that they come with amazing evidence, as scientific evidence, even, or even very, strong anecdotal evidence, which is actually quite openly discussed in Eastern countries, right?
Yeah.
In Russia or in China, or in India, where they're not doing these sort of strange cover-ups where they
Yeah.
say like, it doesn't exist, you have to be rational, etc., etc.
Yeah. No, and one thing, like, what is like myth for people in the West, it's like reality for the people in the East. Like in India and those things, they don't like question if whether it's true or not. They know that's true. They just can't access that world. But they believe for sure that that's there. But again, then they are being corrupted with other things.
Yeah,
The
no.
pure soul thing is very hard to find. But yeah, there is something to it. We will see that. I don't know if I see it, but like humanity will see crazy thing in the future.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. I think it will not just be a monetary or financial revolution. I think it will
Yeah.
also be a scientific, but also a cultural, societal, and probably also a very spiritual revolution.
Yeah, and speaking of scientists, like like the archaeologists, no matter how many scientific proofs you give them, they don't budge. They don't accept those proofs. Like if you have seen Graham Hancock's
Yeah, ancient
Netflix,
apocalypse. Yeah,
yeah,
awesome.
the proofs are there. You just need to see it. But people in the scientific world are not even accepting the reality, which a stupid person like me who have no experience in that can see that, okay, I'm a student of science, so I know the process. So just applying my knowledge to those evidences, when you just analyze them, you can see, okay, there's some truth to that. Why the people in the archaeologists and all those scientists over there not accepting it? They are trying to cover up something. The cover up is basically their ego, that they don't want to accept new things.
Yeah, and I think, also in defense of Graham Hancock, for the people who are listening, go check out this amazing documentary on Netflix. It's actually, I think, one of the biggest, it gets a lot of views. I'm not sure. It was for a while number one or number two, but it's really, really good. I think it's 8 episodes of half hour each. And
Yeah.
in it, he makes his case. It's very well structured. It's very well argumented, but it's very beautifully visualized and shot, right? It's really high production value. And the nice thing that what I really liked about that documentary was that he actually uses the evidence of other people who are legitimate scientists
Yeah.
within their fields, who sort of hit upon an anomaly within their field, which they cannot explain because it's sort of, for them, it's a dead end. But within his framework, which he has been building that framework for 30 years and adjusting it based on new evidence. But within his framework, all those anomalies, they're not anomalies, right? They make perfect sense within his framework. So there are only anomalies within the fields of these specialized scientists. So he's built this sort of case built upon the work and the science of other. He also says, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a historian, I'm not an archaeologist. I'm a journalist, I'm investigating this, and it's like a lifelong passion.
Yeah.
And I think if you watch it all the way till the end, I think the sort of final episode is really sort of, it nails it home, right? I think he has a very solid case.
And if people don't want to watch the Netflix thing, or they don't have Netflix subscription, they can still go and listen to Joe Rogan's podcast with Graham Hancock. He just like give a summary on those podcasts, and he is with Randall Carson as well, there, who is a scientist. So it's like, if you don't want to watch the whole series, then just go listen to those podcasts.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful series, and I
Yeah.
think it's very hard to argue with. And the things that they sort of throw at him are totally ad hominem, right? Like
Yeah.
he's a racist, while he has a black wife and colored children, right? It's like crazy, or he's sort of taking away the originality of previous civilizations, which is nonsense, right? Because then it would also take our originality away. So
Yeah. Also, like, when we are talking about that, I just want to say that this stupid thing we started, like, everyone is a racist, is so dumb. Like, this gonna kill the society. This gonna kill West, because that's how all the Western civilization and where they became too woke and too weak, and then calling everyone racist. When also, by calling one group of people racist, is like you are being yourself a racist. Like, this is so ironic that you are just calling, okay, these men or these white men are racist. Okay, you have generalized it. It's you who are racist, not the people you are targeting. That's how racism works. So I'm so against it, and I'm a person of color. So I just want to tell the people who are doing that, it's not gonna end well. Stop doing that.
Yeah,
Don't generalize and don't target one group of people.
eventually it will eat itself, right? It will destroy
Well, this is
itself.
what I see. Like that thing is dying out after Elon Musk have taken over the Twitter. Things are, I think, ready to balance now.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think it's basically one giant distraction, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
exactly.
Yeah. So let's go to your most recent work,
Yeah.
because we do want to showcase that on here, which is Shroomverse,
Humors, yeah.
which is really cool. There's also, by the way, a really excellent, you've probably already seen it on Netflix, a documentary called How to Change Your Mind, which is also based on the book with the same name.
Yeah. And
Which
then
is,
there's a, yeah.
yeah, go on.
No, go ahead. Sorry. I
Yeah,
interrupted you.
well, yeah, I can highly recommend watching it through the four different uh, yeah, I won't say the word, let's say mind enlarging medicine.
Yeah.
And but it also goes into the history of these different substances and how culture and society reacted to it,
Yeah.
and actually how it can heal people, right? Because that's the main focus of the whole series. And it ends with a part which is not in the book, which focuses on native Indians, tribes that live in America, of course,
Mhm.
and how they have survived, all the repression, and how their culture actually still thrives despite everything thrown at it. And yeah, that was very nice that he did that. That's special.
Okay, I have not seen that one. I'm gonna see it. It
Oh
sounds
yeah, you should.
amazing.
Yeah, you should.
I was thinking of the other one. What's that called? I don't remember, but there is another psychedelic. Uh,
Yeah, you mean
fantastic fungi.
yeah.
That one, I was thinking of that.
Yeah, fungi, fantastic. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
also really cool with the
yeah,
mycelium. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
So
tell me about this work.
okay, so hidden reality. We discussed that in the past. That was so. After my crazy trip, I went. I think my soul left and it went to a different world which was very similar to hidden reality, and I designed all hidden reality pieces based on that experience. So after a while, the highness of the that trip is getting over, and I still miss that. And then there was another part of my trip which was more solid, and it was more like I'm in a world which is less trippy, but
Mhm.
it felt like I'm there already. So this series which I'm drawing right now is the combination of that trip, and then fiction is involved, and the story, it goes by the story, and then there is a story written in the description of that there is this immortal being who is in the space traveling on an asteroid with mushrooms, and then he doesn't know his origin. So he sees an asteroid, not a comet colliding a planet, and he goes in the planet first time in many years, and maybe in millennia or something. First time he decided to enter in the planet's surface, and then the stories goes from there.
Yeah,
So it's like this guy is trying to figure out his own origin or why he exists, and he's an immortal being.
is it also sort of inspired with panspermia, like these sort of spores that go through space, and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's
this, yeah,
go
and then from there he go to a planet where he find a portal, and he enters the portal, and then he will enter in the psychedelic world. So this is how it's gonna go.
Yeah, that sounds really cool, and it also kind of reminds me of this sort of phase within Earth, right? When you had these sort of giant fungi rule the world, right? You
Yeah,
had like tree-like fungi that
yeah,
emitted spores, and they were like trees,
yeah,
actually.
Yeah, and then this is my focus, and these pieces take so long, like months to draw, because like first of all, coming up with the idea, then drawing, and I'm not like a professional. Like I didn't go to art school or anything. I just bought an iPad and start using Procreate. Procreate is like a digital way of drawing something. It's the
Cool.
best tool out there where you can draw, and then it's like a Photoshop, but it's much better for drawing.
Okay, that
So you
sounds
have
good.
white paper, yeah. So that's where I started to learn while I was drawing. So it took me whole year to draw five. I have 5 pieces. I'm working on the fifth one. I'm taking it slow, trying to think and trying to write a story while I'm drawing the pieces and going from there. So
But
that's the
it's,
idea.
I think they're really beautiful and very imaginative, and there's not much like it out there.
Yeah, my work is always different, so people don't understand it. I don't mind because I don't do it for the people. I do it for my own self. And my target is not to earn money from my NFTs. My target is to just tell the world that this is what I think.
And that's probably also the best way to start an NFTs, right? Not for the
Yeah,
money, but just do it for yourself and then grow
yeah,
with the technology.
yeah. And that's why I'm always not following the trends, because, like, when people did his thing, everybody started to draw something like people, and
Yeah,
that was selling. Or X copy, people started to copy X copy, and then they follow that thing, and that thing sales. I
true.
don't follow the trends. I just like to do what I want to do, because I take art as the food for my soul. And for money, I always have a different thing going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So a different source of income, not affect, which is not going to affect my art. And then what I draw, what I really want to draw, not following the trend, not doing it for the money, just doing it for myself.
That's it's kind of interesting how art works, right? So somebody creates something
Yeah,
new, or at least
yeah,
something that seems very new, and then people start copying it until it dies
yeah,
because of copying, and that
yeah,
it's us for something to renew it.
yeah.
Um,
It's
it's
not
so
good. Yeah,
we're basically like AI sort of copying somebody who's actually
yeah.
original.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was like, if you're doing, like, if you're an artist, like, people, the way world works, they think the amount of sales you're doing makes you a bigger artist or whatever. But for me, the art is always like creating a genuine idea, which is your own. That makes you a real creative. You're creating something out of nowhere. If you're following trend, you're a good in skill. Maybe you're a very good painter. You have really good skills, but like, to be a real artist in my mind is like creating an idea, like
Yeah,
something new which does not exist, something out of nothing.
yeah. No, I totally agree, and I sort of remember, I used to do brand design sometimes, and there's sort of a whole school of thought that brands have to look such and such because that works, and if you do it like this, it doesn't work or whatever. And I never believed that nonsense, right? Because
Yeah,
when you look at the brands themselves and you compare them like to brands from a couple of centuries or eras before
yeah,
that, they look completely different, right? And they
yeah,
work perfectly fine.
yeah. Okay, I just want to talk about this coming soon thing.
Yeah,
So until December 2022, like end of December, early this year, uh, there was a royalty issue. So back, if you have minted something, your own contract, until that deadline, one your own contract, then you can charge 10% royalties or whatever the amount you want to charge. After that, anything gonna mint after that, OpenSea will make it zero, and it will be a collector's choice if you wanna give royalty to the creator or not. So that's why I minted few contracts, and that's why I put coming soon on there. So I have contracts ready, and when I have pieces to go, I am I won't be a victim of 0% royalties. So so I minted a couple contracts for that.
that makes a lot of sense too.
And then one thing, if anyone is listening, every month in 2023, I'm going to drop editions free to claim. So free edition, 14 editions. So I'm not going to pollute with like open editions. Like anybody can come and just like destroy the supply because like the more supply you have, I've tried that in the past years. It didn't work. So this time I want to stay scarce, but want to do additions. So I'm doing 14 additions every month, free to claim. So just keep an eye on my Twitter. I'll let everyone know a day before or something that
I dropped the links also in the comment section so that people who are watching can actually go there right away.
Yeah.
Sydart, I want to thank you for being on the show and sharing your wisdom also with the markets, but also your art and on AI. I didn't know you have that AI background, which is very interesting. And let's hope your positive views on the future will come true.
Which I don't think, but let's hope.
Well, in the meantime, let's enjoy ourselves and prepare and stay positive, right?
All right, take care. Yeah, just stay positive because when you give a positive energy into the universe, I think you get something positive back in return. So just stay positive. Hopefully, everything will be okay.
Yeah, and stay creative, right? Keep building,
stay creative.
Keep improving.
Yep.
And I'll see you next time. Thank you for doing this. Love to have you back on the show. And let's do this again in the future.
All right. Nice talking to you. See ya.